Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the class. Yesterday, we were discussing about the composition of the Rajya Sabha, and in this context, we were seeing how the members of the Rajya Sabha are elected from each state legislative assembly. The members of the state legislative assembly elects the members of the Rajya Sabha, and the number of the Rajya Sabha members which will be sent from the state depends on the population of that particular state. If a state is having larger population, then it will send more representatives than that state which has a smaller population. And in this context, we have seen the example of Uttar Pradesh and Sikkim. In the Uttar Pradesh has a population of almost 2,000 lakhs, and Sikkim has a population of 6.10 lakhs, and we see that from Uttar Pradesh, 31 members are sent by the state legislative assembly to the Rajya Sabha, and from Sikkim, only one member is there in the Rajya Sabha. So this is the representation to the states are given on the basis of their population. Now we will discuss the tenure of the members of the Rajya Sabha and tenure of the Rajya Sabha also, because the tenure of the Rajya Sabha and tenure of the members of the Rajya Sabha are different. Actually, the tenure of the members of the Rajya Sabha is 6 years. They are elected for a term of 6 years, and after 6 years they can re-elected also. There is also provision for the re-election. And now we see that all members of Rajya Sabha do not complete their terms at the same time. It's not like that all the members of the Rajya Sabha um, start their term together and complete their term together. Actually, what happens on every 2 years? On every 2 years, third members of the Rajya Sabha complete their term, and elections are held for those one third seats only. Are you getting the point? On every second year, okay, on every second year, what happens that there is election for the one third seats of the Rajya Sabha. Why it is so? Why on every second year there is election for one third seats of the Rajya Sabha? Because every 2 years, one third member of the Rajya Sabha complete their term. Okay, and then election held to fill those places. Okay, so Rajya Sabha is a house which is never fully dissolved. Never, its members are never fully dissolved. Okay, so it's a permanent house. It is called the permanent house of the parliament, because we see that Lok Sabha is there only for 5 years. Okay, and Rajya Sabha is a permanent house. So there is a time, there may be such times when Lok Sabha is not existing. Lok Sabha is dissolved, and the election is going on. And in this period, there may be some type of situation create in which there is a need of the parliament, need of the members to discuss any important matter. Then in that case, Rajya Sabha will be there for discussion. Okay, so Rajya Sabha is the permanent house of the parliament, because one third of its members complete their term every 2 years. Okay, so one third जो है वो complete कर लिए, अब बाकी बच गए, two third members are there. Okay, now what happened? Then again we will see that on next when this one third is completing their term, then there is election for this seat which have been vacant, which जो vacant हो गया seat उसके लिए अब election होगा. तो then again it will become complete one, whole one. फिर next year what happened? One third from this two third, इस two third में से next 2 year में आफ्टर 2 years फिर से 1/3 मेंबर जो होंगे वो फिर से कंप्लीट हो जाएगा उनका टर्म, एंड नाउ देयर विल बी अगेन इलेक्शन फॉर द this 1/3 seat. So in this way, the process of completing the term and election goes on, and the Rajya Sabha becomes the permanent house of the Lok Sabha, permanent house of the parliament. So in Rajya Sabha, there are elected members about whom we were talking about ki how they get elected on the basis of how their number is determined, what is their tenure. Now we will discuss about the those members who are the members of the Rajya Sabha, but they are not elected, but they are nominated members. Okay, and what is the number of these nominated members? There are 12 nominated members. And who nominates these members? These members are nominated by the president. And on what basis the president nominate the members to the Rajya Sabha? The president see the president nominate those persons who have made remarkable achievements in the field of literature, science, art, and social service. These are the criteria, either in the field of literature, or in science, or in art, or in social service. If a person has done some any remarkable work, then the president can nominate him for the post of member of Rajya Sabha. Okay, so this is all about the composition of Rajya Sabha. In this, what you have studied method of election, how they get elected, then there is basis of representation, on which basis they are getting representation, then tenure, and then nominated members. Now we will discuss about the Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha, as we all can understand from the name, it is the house of people. People's representative house is called Lok Sabha, and that is the reason I told you earlier also. The Lok Sabha is called the lower house because it represents the people, and the Rajya Sabha is called the upper house because it represents the state. And if we see it from the first chamber and second chamber, it is also called the both the houses are addressed like first chamber, second chamber. So first chamber is Lok Sabha and second chamber is Rajya Sabha. Okay. So how do the members of the Lok Sabha are elected? They are elected by the people on the basis of universal adult suffrage, where value of vote of every individual would be equal to another. One person, one vote, one value. Every person, every adult citizen has a right to vote, and the value of the vote is same. There is no difference of value among the votes of the people. Okay, and for the purpose of election, what happens, the whole country is divided into different constituencies, and these constituencies are divided in such a manner that they roughly have equal population. We cannot say that exactly they have equal population, but इस बात का ख्याल रखा जाता है कि all the constituencies should have equal number of people, so that the Lok Sabha should represent the people of India in an equitable manner. Okay, so in this way, the constituencies are created on the basis of population only, and one representative is elected from each constituency. Okay, and in the whole country is divided into 543 constituencies for the purpose of Lok Sabha election. Okay, these are the 543 constituency, and this number has not changed since 1971 census. We have census on every 10 years, you know this. So there was census in 1971. After that census, there was no change in the number of members of the Lok Sabha. So this is the number of the members of the Lok Sabha, 543, plus 2 members are nominated by the president if the president feels that the Anglo-Indian community is not has not got a representation in the Lok Sabha. Then in that case, the president can nominate 2 members of the Anglo-Indian community. Okay. Now we see the Lok Sabha is elected for a period of 5 years. Unlike Rajya Sabha, the Lok Sabha is not a permanent house, but it has a fixed tenure. It is only elected only for 5 years, and on every 5 years there is elections. Okay, and this many times it happens that the Lok Sabha may dissolve before 5 years also, because we have seen in the previous chapter when we were discussing executive and we were discussing about the prime minister, we have seen that there many times such a situation is there when no party is able to get the majority in the election. Then there is a coalition government is formed, and this coalition government is very unstable. Anytime any of the constituent party can deny its support to the government, and in that case what happens, the government will become a minority, and there will be and the prime minister will advise the president to dissolve the house because he has lost the support of the majority. So in this case, the president may ask someone else from the Lok Sabha to form the government and prove his majority, or the president can dissolve the Lok Sabha. So, 5 year term is the maximum term of the Lok Sabha. It is not necessary, it is not that always Lok Sabha will be able to complete its 5 year terms. It can be dissolved in before 5 years also. Okay, so this is the tenure of the Lok Sabha. Now we will see the functions of the parliament. What does the parliament do? And in this, we are considering both the houses of the parliament. Okay, House of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, both the houses are here. Apart from law making, the parliament is engaged in many other functions. Okay, the first important function of the parliament, as we know, parliament is the legislative organ of the government, and the most important function of the legislature is to make laws. Okay, so parliament has the most important role of lawmaking. Okay, the parliament has the is a lawmaking body, but in actual practice what we find that the parliament is not exercising its lawmaking power in an absolute manner, or we can say that it has only a type of approval. It has to give only the approval. Why this change? Why we are saying that the parliament is there only to approve the legislation? It is not having any actual power regarding the law making function. It is because of the parliamentary form of government which we have adopted. Uh, these things have been I told you earlier also about these things, and I'm just repeating all these things. The executive in a parliamentary form of government is prime minister with his council of minister. He is the real executive, and the president is the ceremonial executive. We all know this. Okay, now the real executive, that is the Prime Minister with his Council of Ministers will hold their post only if they have the support of the majority in the Lok Sabha. So when the Prime Minister is holding his post and the cabinet Prime Minister with the cabinet is holding his post, it means that Prime Minister has the support of the majority in the Lok Sabha. Okay. Now any bill which is presented in the house, in any bill which is presented in the Lok Sabha, if this bill has not the support of the Prime Minister and his ministers, then what will happen? This bill will not be able to pass from the house. This bill will not be able to pass from the Lok Sabha because Prime Minister has the support of the majority. So, if someone is passing the bill, wants to pass the bill without the support of the Prime Minister, it means Prime Minister and ministers, it means he is not having the support of the majority of the people, majority of the members of the Lok Sabha. So in that case, that bill will not be passed from the Lok Sabha. So what happens? We see that bill, whatever bill is presented in the Lok Sabha by the with the support of the Prime Minister and his cabinet, that bill is only able to pass from the Lok Sabha because of the support of the majority. Okay, and everything is decided by the cabinet. The substance and even the timing of the bill are decided by the cabinet. The parliament has a very little role in this regard. Everything is decided by the cabinet. Then we can see that the drafting of the bill is performed by the bureaucracy under the supervision of the minister concerned. The bill is related to whatever ministry, whatever department the bill is concerned. The minister of that department will supervise the drafting of the bill which is performed by the bureaucracy. So in this also we see that the parliament is not playing any role in lawmaking. Drafting of the bill is also done by the secretaries of the ministers, by the bureaucracy, and this is done by the bureaucracy under the supervision of the concerned minister. So, in this way, we are seeing that the law making power of the parliament has shrinked, बहुत कम हो गया है. ठीक है. No major bill is introduced in the parliament without the approval of the cabinet. If the cabinet is not supporting the bill, then that bill there is no utility of introducing that bill, because that bill will not cannot be passed from the house. Okay, members other than minister can also introduce bills, but these have no chance of being passed without the support of the government. It may be कि कोई अदर देन मिनिस्टर कोई मेंबर बिल को इंट्रोड्यूस कर सकता है, लेकिन वो बिल पास नहीं हो पाएगा. दैट बिल कैन पास ओनली व्हेन that bill has the support of the government. So this is the situation, this is the position of the parliament. पार्लियामेंट की जो लॉ मेकिंग अथॉरिटी है, जो लॉ मेकिंग पावर है, वो किस तरह से कम हो गया है. ओके. Now we are considering the second function of the parliament. Parliament is the supposed to play the role of it supervise and control the executive. The executive, that is the cabinet with prime minister at its head, the cabinet is accountable towards the parliament. And this is the most important function of the parliament, that the executive does not overstep its authority. and remains responsible to the people who have elected them. Parliament is there to control the executive so that the executive cannot misuse its power, and it must be responsible towards the people. It must be responsible towards the representatives of the people. Okay, and there are many methods through which the parliament controls the executive. By asking question, there is question hour. When the session of the house starts, it starts from 11 o'clock. From 11 to 12 is question hour. In this question hour, any question can be asked from the ministers, and the minister has to give answer to the question. And it is not only that the minister has to give answer to the question, but he has to satisfy the members of the parliament. If the members are not satisfied with the answer, then they can stage a walkout, and they can disrupt the all the functioning of the house. Okay, then at 12 o'clock is called zero hour, when at this time also any question can be asked from the minister. And other than this, there are many proposals such as half an hour discussion, then stop there are so many methods through which the parliament controls the executive, and the most important tool in the hands of the is in the hands of Lok Sabha, and that is the passing of the vote of no confidence against the government. If the Lok Sabha passes this proposal that the majority of the Lok Sabha is not supporting, is not in, has no confidence in the government, then in that case the government has to resign. So this is the most important tool to control the government, and this tool is in the hands of Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha is not having this power. Vote of no confidence can be moved only by the Lok Sabha. So these are the important powers of the parliament, and we can say that the parliament, the prime minister, with its cabinet, his cabinet will be able to hold his position only when he is enjoying the support of the majority members in the Lok Sabha. So the tenure of the prime minister and ministers depend on the Lok Sabha. Now, the parliament has some financial functions also. Government, whatever spending is done by the government, it has to give account. It has to give all the details where the money has been spent, why the money has been spent. All these details has to be given to the parliament. And why in this function also we see that the Lok Sabha has a greater control, more control over the executive. If we compare the control, financial control uh, of the Rajya Sabha. If we compare the powers of financial power of both the houses, we see that the Lok Sabha has more power than the Rajya Sabha in this regard. We see that government, why Lok Sabha has been given more power in financial matters, because whatever government is spending, whatever the most important source of the government's income is the revenue, is the taxes which it collects from the people. So government is spending the money of the people. Okay, so if the government is spending the money of the people, then the people should control this government. The financial activities of government should be controlled by the people. Why? Because it is the money of the people. ये लोगों का पैसा है जो कि सरकार खर्च कर रही है, इसलिए इस पे कंट्रोल भी किसका होना चाहिए? लोगों का होना चाहिए. दैट इज वाई द हाउस ऑफ पीपल यानी कि लोकसभा हैज बीन गिवन the more financial power than the Rajya Sabha. Okay, and the financial power of the parliament, what does it include? The financial powers of the parliament involve a grant of resources to the government to implement its program. Whatever programs has been planned by the government, and in order to implement these programs, there is requirement of money, and this money, this resource is granted to the government by the parliament only. Parliament approves, then only the government can use the resources. Okay, then the government has to give an account to the legislature about the money it has spent. Whatever money is being spent by the government has to give an account to the legislature. Okay, and the legislature also ensures that the government does not misspend or overspend. गवर्नमेंट को misspend या overspend भी नहीं करना चाहिए. And जो बजट गवर्नमेंट बनाती है, whatever budget is made by the finance department of the government, वो बजट को लोकसभा से अप्रूव कराया जाता है. Okay, and that is the most important function of the parliament. Now we will see some other functions of the parliament. In this we can see representation. Parliament represents the divergent views of the members from different regional, social, economic, religious groups of different parts of the country, because we know that in parliament there are representatives of people as well as representatives of state, and the whole country is getting representation in the parliament. And our country is full of diverse people. Our country is full of people belonging to different social, different economic, different religious groups, and all these different groups are getting representation in the parliament. So our parliament represent the complete country. The whole country is represented by the parliament. Now the parliament has also one more important function, that is debating function. It is the highest forum of debate in the country. It can discuss on any matter. Any local matter can also be discussed. Any matter of national importance can also be discussed. Any national international matters can also be discussed in the parliament, and members are free to speak on any matter without fear. Okay, so the parliament is the most important. It gives us a platform where our representative can express their views regarding any matter, and this is the important function of the parliament. Now the parliament has another function also, constituent function. The parliament has the power of discussing and enacting changes to the constitution. If there is need to amend the constitution, if there is need to change the constitution, then this amendment can be done by both the houses of the parliament. Okay, this connection, both the houses have the same power. All the constituent amendments have to be approved by a special majority of both houses. And what is the special majority? A special majority is two-third majority of the present and voting, and simple majority of the total membership. So parliament has the power to amend the constitution. Then electoral functions are also there. The parliament performs some electoral functions. It elects the president and Vice President of India. All the elected members of Parliament constitute the college which elects the President and the Vice President of India. Then there are some judicial functions. Then these judicial functions are very important because the parliament has the power to remove the president through the process of impeachment, and this process of impeachment, it should be passed from both the houses. And other than president, vice president, judges of supreme court and high court, all can be removed by the parliament through the process of impeachment. So in this way we can see that the parliament has very important powers. And in this connection we can see that the powers of Rajya Sabha and powers of Lok Sabha are different. There is a difference between the powers of the two houses. Both the houses are not having the same power, and about this we will discuss in the next class.